Good morning and welcome back for World Migratory Bird Day. Today is the official celebration day, May 8th, the second Saturday in May. It's when we celebrate every year. And then just as a reminder, we'll have another event on the second Saturday in October to celebrate the fall migration. So we look forward to seeing you back then. Just a few instructions for all of you as you watch today. If you need any translation, whether from English to Spanish or Spanish to English, you can visit us at birddaylive.com and you'll find both translations there. You can also catch us on our Facebook page at Environment for the Americas, and both of the transmissions will be there as well. So thank you so much for joining us again. And now I'd love to introduce our team, the people who make World Migratory Bird Day possible across the Americas. With me today, I have Miguel Mata. Miguel is our Latin American coordinator. Miguel, why don't you say a few words?
Yeah, happy World Migratory Bird Day for everybody. Seeing fly soar like a bird is now a possibility and reality for everybody. Now I was this morning watching all the news, people see birds, watching birds and listening birds every part of the world. And we are so excited about that. Thank you so much for PUT UX for educating communities on the ground. So thank you so much to be with us another year. And of course, we are waiting for you to the celebration with Latin American countries and the Caribbean region for October. So don't miss that event at the end of the year. I want to invite you, the rest of the team here, Daniela Sousa, Leticia, and Dino. I know Laura Babula in the Caribbean island are experimenting a rainstorm, but she's gonna try to join us too. Daniela, you want to say something to welcome World Migratory Bird Day?
Yes, thank you, Miguel. I'm really happy to be here celebrating birds today and celebrating from Mexico, where I am, and really happy. And yes, don't forget to join us on October 2. Then we will have a lot of surprises.
Leticia.
Hola, hello, happy World Migratory Bird Day for everybody. I'm here in the forest, very near in El Salvador. So here we are in birds. As you can see, some people are taking pictures. Right now we are to a northern put to the east nest here in this site. So we are very excited to look at birds.
Thank you, Leticia. I think Leticia is experimenting some trouble with their video, but thank you so much to be there, Leticia, on the ground. Laura, can you share some words for World Migratory Bird Day opening? Thanks.
Yes, hi, welcome. Thank you for joining us again to today's session. And I just wanted to say happy World Migratory Bird Day from Trinidad and Tobago. Despite all the heavy rain, we still try to go out and count some birds, see what we can find. And we look forward to you all enjoying our sessions today. Thank you.
And also we have here Guido Verguido from Adopta el Bosque, Panama, who was the Central American coordinator for the past year. So Guido, do you want to say something to everybody?
Sure, thanks, Miguel. Welcome everybody, bienvenidos al Día Mundial de las Aves Migratorias, World Migratory Bird Day. It's a really great event so people can share the beauty of our shared birds that move back and forth from North America down to Latin America. So it's a great opportunity to look at birds, enjoy birds, and share them amongst different countries. Welcome all.
Thanks, everybody. We're so happy to introduce our team. And as Guido said, the intent of World Migratory Bird Day is to connect people to birds and to bird conservation. So our goal is to bring the passion and joy of birds to youth and adults across the Americas and around the world. and motivate actions that help to protect them. And we'll share some more information about that later. But I think right now we're going to try to do a little bit of bird watching in the countries where our coordinators are located. So Miguel, we're starting with Guido.
Yeah, we know everybody are today celebrating World Migratory Bird Day, and one of the activities they choose to celebrate this event is to bird watching trip through World Global Big Day or Global Big Bird Day. So Guido Berguido is for our team, and he's a passionate bird watcher. Guido, where are you from right now? And tell us a little bit about your work and your environment around you.
Sure, certainly. Thank you, Miguel. Yeah, this is a really great opportunity again to be here, taking part of celebrating World Migratory Bird Day, and at the same time contributing data, scientific data, through this eBird platform in the Global Big Day. So in this case, our team chose, well, we have spread people all over the country as part of that Team Adopta or Adopta Bosque. So our team in particular is located here in the town of Tortí. Right now, I am talking to you from a town of Tortí in Portala Vicar, which is a small lodge just out here, near the border with the Darien province. This is certainly one of the best birding spots in all of Panama because it has a great combination of habitats. So you have like suburban areas, you have wetlands, you have scrubby habitats, you have second growth, primary forest, and a little bit of foothills. And what's amazing is that each of these different kind of ecosystems, as you all well know, contains a different species of birds. So that's why this place is so productive in terms of bird life. And we're super excited to be here. And as of this moment, our last checklist was at 8:30. We had counted 105 species so far. So we're very excited about this. And right now, I actually have to start some checklist where we are right now because I just came to this location searching for a better reception for the cell phone connection. And so if you can see right here off my side, there are a number of hummingbird feeders that the folks here at Hotel Vicar put out for guests to enjoy birds, which is actually, we have something to do with that more than 15 years ago. But anyway, there are a number of hummingbird species that...
Guido.
Diga, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to ask you about how Adopta Panama celebrate World Migratory Bird Day through education and conservation programs in Panama. I know you are doing a great job collaborating with different organizations there. What are you doing about conservation in Panama?
Well, conservation, we have different, Adopta Bosque organization works in different aspects. One of them is through conservation proper on the ground. And we achieve that by choosing an areas that are critically endangered because of the species of wildlife or the habitats they protect, yet that they have no legal protection. They're not part of the national park system. So we go in and try to purchase land and secure it for conservation as private reserves. So our original project is a Cerro Chucantí Private Nature Reserve, which is right now 1,500 acres big. And it's actually not too far from here, a couple of kilometers south of here. So that's the conservation part. But how do we choose where to conserve? By doing research. Okay, so we have a team of collaborators. We have a team of both in-house and through alliances with various universities and other research institutions. And we carry out research to determine what species are found there, not just birds, but plants and other animals as well. And of course, this research receives great support from the people, from the regular population in general, through different citizen science projects like Global Big Day or iNaturalist, different platforms that allow the public to participate. So one of our biggest projects is to involve people all throughout the country in citizen science projects like this, because by having thousands of people contributing observations makes our job much more easier in locating endangered species or rare species or even trying to establish population trends, new arrivals in terms of species, and or declinations. For instance, as a result of this
Guido,
citizen science, go ahead.
sorry, you can finish that.
No, I was just saying that as a result of these community science projects, last year we had 2 new species of birds recorded for the country. One from South America, which was the northern screamer, which was first sighted last year by Isaac Pizarro, one of the birders in our team last year around this same time. And on the opposite side of the country, in the border with Costa Rica, we had another bird called the red-winged blackbird, which is primarily a North American species that is extending its range into Panama and potentially into South America eventually. So just 2 examples. As a result of citizens' participation in these kind of activities, we can increase the knowledge of our bird life in general.
Super cool. Guido, do you know that the conservation team of World Migratory Bird, they seeing fly soar like a bird? And I want to ask you what that represent for you, the thing, when you heard about that, what come in your mind?
Sure. I have to admit, here between the 2 of us and the 20,000 people that are listening to us, I didn't like it too much. Because, you know, we are scientists, so we sometimes try to focus more on the technical part of things. But on the other hand, when it sunk in to me, I realized, wow, this is really special because you are connecting with the birds. And that's what this is all about, right? We want to feel how it feels, the happiness, the joy of arriving in a new place, of singing, of flying. If you could fly, that's such a dream. So I thought it was just genius of the designers of this theme, because it certainly allows us to behave and be happy. Sing, fly like the birds is awesome.
Thank you, Guido. And do you want to share some birds in your feeders or something like that? You have a couple of minutes to finish to the trip in Panama.
Sure, I can show you here briefly because we are in a very special place with lots of birds. So I'm going to try to show you. There's some feeders. This is a scaly breasted hummingbird there. Over here we have a black-throated mango, a female black-throated ham. They're fighting, of course. They're very territorial. You know how those birds are. But this is another female black-throated mango. We had a sapphire-throated hummingbird. This is a scaly-breasted hummingbird that just came in here. In Panama, even though the country is so very small, we're only about the size of South Carolina or Austria. We're very small, yet we have a number of, over 1,011 species, and including like 60 species of hummingbirds, including one of our focal species for this year, which is the ruby-throated hummingbird that lives primarily in North America, but during migration, they migrate all the way down here to Panama. So Panama is the very far south end of the species range here in Panama. So we're thrilled to have so many species of hummingbirds. Here we have about 20 species in these feeders. There's a female sapphire-throated hummingbird over there. So, and then there's this one sitting here in the, oh, look at all the action here. I don't think they like me being too close, but it's very special. We feel very happy. At this time of the year, most of the migrants have left our countries already. Still some are struggling, like stragglers. So we had, for instance, we had this morning during our birding, we had Swainson's thrush, and we had also Eastern wood pewee. Those were two of the migrants that we saw this morning, at least. So it's a very exciting time of the year when the migrants are moving through. A couple of days ago, we had chestnut-sided warblers, we had bay-breasted warblers dressed up in their best plumage, because when they first arrive here, they have their fall plumage, and when they're here throughout or stationed most of the year, or the winter, they have a winter plumage. So that means that they're not as colorful, they're more drab. So at this time of the year, when they're on their journey back up north for breeding, they have all those bright colors that we all love. So this is really an exciting time of the year to watch for migratory species. So we're bidding farewell to them and hope you receive them safely and sound very soon. Thank you, Miguel. I'm not sure if you have any questions.
Thank you so much, Guido. And this is a wonderful opportunity to see hummingbird for people that are enclosed in their house. And thank you so much to have a special session with us. Now, I want to invite Leticia Andino. She's in El Salvador, also in Central America. She had a little bit troubles with the connection. We're gonna try to watch what she's doing now in El Salvador. She's leading a World Migratory Bird Day event, right, Leticia? And she is doing a bird watching trip also.
Sí, voy a hacer en español para explicar un poco mejor lo que
My presentation is going to be in Spanish to try to explain better. I am in an ecological natural park near El Salvador. It is a protected area. I'm part of a group of photographers. And they have helped us a lot in learning about birds. Sorry, we have connection problems.
La vegetación, pero ya es un volcán de Salvador y es un corredor dentro de lo que es la zona de aquí del área de Salvador y la zona también. Estamos rodeados de mucha urbanización, entonces forma.
So here at El Salvador, where we are, it is a very important place for the birds because of the vegetation, the richness of vegetation that we have here. And so this weekend, we invited people to come over to enjoy. Sorry, Leticia, sorry to interrupt you, but I think that the video is not working very well. Maybe you can just turn off the video and leave your audio on so the signal is not as slow. Yes, I think that works a little better. Unfortunately, we cannot see the place where Leticia is because of the connection issues, but I don't know, Leticia, you want to leave a message?
Invitarlos a todos a que
yes, I just wanted to invite everyone to continue to join the celebration of the International Migratory Bird Day. It's a campaign in which we're all committed to take care of the birds. If you like the birds, if you enjoy their colors and their flight and their songs, this is a good opportunity for you to get to know more about them. And
happy birthday desde El Salvador.
I just wanted to wish you a happy birthday from El Salvador. We are here enjoying our birds, and we are also disseminating information about conservation topics about migratory birds. So greetings from El Salvador, and sorry for the connection, but we're right in the middle of the forest and we're also connected to nature. So thank you, Leticia. I know that it is a great effort to go out in the field and try to show what you're experiencing, but we thank you for your time. And so I want to invite Daniel Arias to share his screen and microphone. I think Daniel has a better connection. And Daniel is passionate about birds. He's celebrating also the International Migratory Birthday. He's our coordinator in Ecuador, and we're happy that he joined us today. Daniel, what are you going to show us today? How are you? I'm really happy to be here today. I'm visiting my family in the state of New Jersey. In the United States, in the East Coast of the Atlantic Ocean, and I went out to do some birding in the park that is right by the house, and I saw really amazing birds. It's truly incredible the diversity that you can find right by your window, because right now I'm watching birds from my window and I can see a couple woodpeckers, pigeons, blackbirds. So I am very happy that this activity can be celebrated from the window of our houses. Exactly, Daniel. That is the message that we want to share with everyone, that bird conservation starts at home. What recommendations could you give us to all the people that are starting to get familiar with the world of birds? What do you want to say to people that are watching through birddaylive.com? Do you have conservation messages or actions that they can implement in their daily lives? I think that you should start at home. If you want to become a bird watcher and if you want to focus on conservation, like Gandhi used to say, if you want to see a change in the world, then start with yourself. So I would recommend to start by listening. Try to wake up early these days of spring or whatever you are. Pay attention to what birds are singing. Put your phone down for 2 minutes and connect with the sounds of nature from your window, and I can assure you that you're going to be surprised about the quantity, the beauty, and the amount of bird songs that you could hear from there. You can start there. If you get to know the birds that come visit your garden or your park, you're going to start to get to know them and love them. And you're going to start spreading this passion for bird watching to friends, to family, and even children.
Excelente, Daniel. También nos va a estar acompañando.
Great, Daniel. In the Q&A session, Daniel is going to be joining us so he can continue to share all the information that he has in his head. And a question that we're asking all presenters, this motto, sing, fly, and soar like a bird, what does that mean to you? I think that personally puts us humans at the same level of nature, because for some reason humans tend to believe that we are superior to nature, but we're just another species. So by saying or listening to this motto, it puts us in the place of birds. So we think about the problems that they face and we think about the beauty that they keep in spite of that. So to me, it's putting everyone or all species at the same level. So to me, it is an important symbol. Birds are an important symbol of independence. So I am very happy, and that's what that message brings up in me. Thank you, Daniel, for sharing that information. And we also know that you're leading the Urban Bird Program along with Tatiana and Daniela in Latin America and Ecuador. And Daniel is also an ambassador for the materials, the education materials for this day that we're going to give away in Ecuador. And we want to take advantage of this opportunity to explain how we send those materials. They are first translated from English to Spanish, and they reach the most remote communities in Latin America. As you might understand, the transportation of materials among countries can be very expensive and very difficult. So that's why we've designed a program of ambassadors in which the people that travel from the United States to any country, to Latin America or the Caribbean, and have an extra space in their luggage, they can help us sharing or letting us know how much they can carry, and we can send educational materials to those communities. In this case, Daniel is leading 12 groups in Ecuador And so we're super happy to help him out. And we are very thankful for him being the ambassador for all these people. So thank you, Daniel, for that contribution. Can you tell us a little bit more on how conservation has been evolving in terms of the Urban Birds Program and the International Migratory Bird Day? What are you planning for this year? Well, for us, it has been a great challenge and at the same time, very exciting to be able to open other coordinations of the Urban Bird Program, which was created in Mexico a couple of years ago. That program has spread now to Guatemala, Salvador, Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia, and Brazil, if I'm not mistaken. And in Ecuador, in the cities, there is not a sense of diversity. So that's what that program is trying to do. It's already open in 12 cities, and these coordinators are going to be spreading conservation messages and communicating the urban problems like pollution, cats, pesticides. And it's about bringing nature to your window, is getting to know your neighbors, which are the birds, because they're right there and they're close by. And it's all about connecting with nature, and you can do it from home. You don't have to go to a forest to appreciate birds and to carry out conservation activities. So cities have that power of political decisions or economic decisions, and that's where we want to start. We want conservation to come from the cities also, because also there's the biggest concentration of human populations. Urban populations are growing throughout Latin America. More than 50% of the population in most of Latin America lives in urban settlements. So we're very happy that from the 3 continental regions that Ecuador has, the Pacific coast, the mountains, and the Amazon, we can have our coordinators that are communicating the same message. We work in the same way, and it's basically promoting conservation from the cities. So we are very happy with the Environment of the Americas for helping us with the amazing materials that you're sending. I am showing off my t-shirt from last year, and it says Birds Connect Our World, and it's material that works as a motivation for children, for young people, for adults to continue to carry out conservation and observing birds from the cities. Great, Daniel. And the program that we currently have, that we're launching this year, we're working along with other alliances to declare cities of birds. It's a program that we want to expand throughout Latin America. And this afternoon, we're going to listen a couple of presentations about bird citizens in Colorado, Lafayette, and we're going to explain how we started this program. We're going to have a couple of leaders that are going to share a presentation this afternoon. So Daniel, we're very excited that maybe we're at some point at the future we're gonna have a city for birds in Ecuador as well. I don't know if you want to go out to your garden and show us the birds that you have around you. Sure. Let me open the window, which is the quickest way to do it. Let me see if we can see anything very quickly.
En poquito, pero vamos a ver. Veamos la cámara, esto.
Okay, let me see how I can turn on the camera here. Okay, I'm ready. So here's where we are. We are in the Atlantic coast of New Jersey in the US. It looks, as you can see, it's very green. It's a little bit rainy, and as we know, birds are usually away from the rain, so I don't think we can see a lot, but far away we can hear a couple of birds. I don't know if you're able to listen. We have a northern woodpecker that's singing, and a couple of pigeons.
Como decíamos, es importante que empecemos desde estos espacios, ¿no?
Sorry, a couple of sparrows.
Ahí se puede escuchar también un mirlo primavera, que también es una especie de ave migratoria, ¿no?
And we can hear a migratory bird. A lot of birds that we thought that were local birds, apparently we've discovered
cortos de migración. Aquí en
they do migrate, but only short distances, like the robin. And in spite of the rain, we can see a couple of birds up there. Sometimes we can see crows or vultures or turkey vultures, which this year is a symbol of another of the symbols of the International Migratory Bird Day. So to me, it is very exciting to be able to bird watch from these urban places and see how birds start to arrive and how they change depending on the season. Since I arrived, there's been a lot of warblers arriving, and these warblers travel for thousands of kilometers from South America all the way to North America, and some of them arrived all the way to Arctica for their breeding season. And I always wonder what countries they've seen, because maybe I'm watching them from my window, but these birds have been in the Caribbean, in the Central American forest, in the southern jungles, maybe in the Argentinian mountains, and now they're here. So that's the magic and the power of migration. So it doesn't matter if it's a long, short, or medium distance migrations, they allow us to observe them. So that's what's interesting about it. Birds are these dynamic beings that are in constant movement. So that's what I can say so far from my window. And well, I would just recommend for you to pay attention on what happens out of your window and just take record, and that's how you start. Yes, Daniel, that's a very important message, because we know that because of the times, not a lot of people can go out in the field to watch birds, or either because of social circumstances or because of COVID. So this is a very positive message for them, because as you will say, bird conservation starts at home, and it starts at a window, and there's a lot of things that we can learn from them, and there's a lot of birds that we can watch from our windows. So thank you again, Daniel, for sharing all your experience with us, and see you later today to talk with young people and to answer all of the questions that they have. See you later. Thank you, Daniel.
I am
I
here.
think we are ready. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank
We are
you,
ready to
Miguel, and thanks
pass
to
to the
all of
next
our
section.
presenters. Yeah, thanks to all of our partners across the Americas and for all the great work that they're doing there. I'm going to give just a few instructions for the day for people who are out there watching. And I want to remind people that you can watch on birddaylive.com. So that's a good place to go. And the reason why is that that is the place where you can go for translation very easily. At birddaylive.com, we have the English and the Spanish translation. We also have a chat box. And so it's fun to see who's out there and to welcome them on. I know we have Jody from Denver on this morning, and we had Alfred from, I didn't know where he was from, but we'd like to meet you and to chat with you. So please come online. You won't see the chat unless you put your name in and join. It's kept private just for security reasons, but we hope to see you there. And again, you can also watch the live stream on Environment for the Americas Facebook page, at Partners in Flight, and at the Mexico Programa de Aves Urbana website as well. So thank you very much for joining us today. And I also want to thank our partners. These are the people who make World Migratory Bird Day possible. We work with partners at the Convention on Migratory Species, or the CMS, and the African Eurasian Waterbird Agreement to coordinate World Migratory Bird Day across the globe. We work in the Americas and focus on the Americas while they take on other parts of the world with us. Our global flyways partner at the U.S. Forest Service International Programs helps to make the development of education materials possible and helps to support our coordinators across the Americas. And then our America's Flyways partners and our title sponsors also support the development of our education materials, our outreach, and our communication. Getting these messages out about migratory birds and bird conservation is critical. We also have friends in different parts of the Americas who support the program and make it possible for us to reach their participants. Nature Canada in Canada reaches many groups across the country, promoting bird conservation. Birds Caribbean in the Caribbean region, and Conabio and Programa de Aves Urbanas in Mexico, and now growing in other parts of the Americas. We also receive support from the Avian Power Line, Interaction Committee, Pepco Holdings, Songbird Essentials, and others. So we appreciate so much their support. That's what makes us able to really motivate action and motivate participation each year. And I want to thank our artist, Sarah Woolman. She did an amazing job on our posters. For the first time, we have a specific poster outside of the Americas, which you can see. And we also have our Americas poster. So you can see that we changed a few species, see how sharp your eyes are and which species those are. But this has been a vivid illustration of our theme of sing, fly, soar like a bird. So thank you so much to Sarah Woolman. If you want to meet her, she will be on later tonight. And she'll be talking about her art and her work and some exciting new things she's working on. She'll be joined by Tamara Montenegro, who is a musician. And Tamara brings birds into her music. So we're excited to have her as part of the program as well. And lastly, I want to remind everyone that our goal for World Migratory Bird Day is to connect you to birds and to bring you information that helps you take simple actions to protect them. These are really simple, and you can do them at home, and it might not seem like a big help, but it actually is. The more people who help to protect birds, even in their own backyards, the more conservation action we have, and the more birds that are going to make it on these incredible journeys that they take. So we invite you to take part in any of these actions, or all of them would be great. Making your windows visible can save so many bird lives. This is one of the biggest impacts on birds around the world, actually. Keeping your cats indoors. Cats kill so many birds each year. There are many ways to keep a cat happy indoors, and we have ideas for how you can do that and can share that. Saying no to plastics. Plastics are a huge problem, and birds don't recognize plastics as plastics. They think they're food. Birds have been known to die literally with their stomachs full. Planting native plants. Here we are in May. What a great time to think about your gardens. And native plants definitely benefit migratory birds. These are the plants that they are accustomed to. They are the plants that provide the insects, the nectar, and the cover and the forage that they need to survive. And then, of course, share your passion for birds. Make sure that everybody you know is aware. Get your kids involved. Get your parents involved. It's a family thing, and we hope you all have a wonderful time today and every day. So thank you so much. And I think that we are ready to move into our next session, which is people connect to nature and birds in many different ways. And there was a wonderful effort by what was called the Bowerbird Collective to bring musicians together, to bring singers together in a celebration of migratory birds. And so right now I want to bring on one of our, well, we've known Eve for quite a long time. I want to bring on Eve Orenstein. Good morning, Eve. How are you doing?
Good, thank you.
It's so great to see you.
Likewise.
And I want to thank you for participating in the World Bird Choir.
Yeah, that was really, really a cool opportunity.
Yes, so this was an effort of our partners on the East Asian Australasian Flyway, and they brought together singers from around the world to put together a piece that serves as the background to a wonderful video about bird migrations. And Eve, I wonder if you could just talk a little bit about what you do, your music, your voice, and how you can use that for something like this, which is bird conservation.
Sure. So I'm an opera singer, and I'm an opera singer at a very local level. So I run the local chapter of Opera on Tap Colorado, which brings opera to non-traditional spaces. We just performed at a high school. I'm doing something at a retirement community, places where people are there and meeting them. And as far as singing, that means that I'm can jump in on any sort of project that that feels right to me, that feels like something that can be using my literal voice for good, for being joyful, for supporting another project.
So can you talk a little bit about the process of putting together what you did for this global choir?
Sure. So they had it really beautifully organized. They had a website that had the backing tracks that you could listen to while you were singing, while you were learning the piece. They had obviously the sheet music, and they had really clear instructions about how to do it. So that was great. That's my indoor cat. And so basically I learned the music, and then the hardest part of doing music in COVID is that everything needs to be recorded, but it's just a good thing because then you can share it, with people all over the world. But you start as a singer and you end up having to figure out video production, and that is the trickiest part, making sure that you can have your sheet music in front of you while you can scroll it and still be on camera and have this, the lighting right and everything. And sometimes you get it okay.
And so what did they ask you to do?
So it was a piece that is the piece that is in the video, and I'm a mezzo soprano, so I sang the alto line, and I just learned the line and I recorded it and sent it to them, and then they stitched it together with people from, it looks like 20 countries.
20 countries, wow. So not to put you on the spot, but could you give just a little live promo for it?
Singing?
Yes.
It's all on oohs and ahs, so it's so everyone from any country can, any language can do it. So that was lovely, so it's nothing that anyone had to struggle or have to learn something different. So let's see. So very lovely, long, pretty lines like that.
It was beautiful. So when I watched your audio or your video for it, I thought, oh, wow, that sounds so beautiful, but how is this going to work? How are they going to put this together? So was it so well timed that they could just literally merge all the voices?
Yeah, so there's when you were doing these things like they do for film scores, there's a click track. So everyone is perfectly timed to you hear the basically a metronome in the recording that you're doing it with. So it is exactly perfectly timed.
Ah, that's amazing. So I think what we'll do now is we'll go to that video and watch it. And then maybe if I can keep you on and we have any other questions at the end, then we can take those. So I want to pull up that video, which they did so beautifully.
Sing, fly, soar like a bird.
Sing, fly, soar like a bird.
Sing, fly, and soar like a bird.
如鳥兒般歌唱飛舞翱翔
পাখির মতো গান গাই উড়ে বেড়াই ভেসে বেড়াই
齊做野鳥歌唱家
Singen wir, fliegen wir, schwingen wir uns in die Höhe wie die Vögel.
Dudum, dudum, mis.
像鸟儿一样歌唱翱翔腾飞
שיר עוף אמרה כציפור.
歌え飛べ羽ばたけ鳥のように
Mawit, lumipad, sumalumbay gaya ng isang ibon.
Melagu po lagi cicim
Bernyanyi, terbang, menjulang seperti burung. 새처럼 날고 노래하고 비상하라.
Wow. Eve, it's beautiful. I tried to pick out your voice in there.
That's the thing about choirs, you're not supposed to.
I know. Is that the first time you've heard it?
This morning, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
It was released at like 2 a.m. I tried to stay up.
Right. So it was released on the East Asian Australasian Flyway, which for us, I also watched at the time, but I was definitely asleep at, I think it was 2 a.m. in Colorado. So I thought, well, I'll just check it first thing in the morning and see how we can get it on this morning for us. So it was the brainstorm of a group called the Bowerbird Collective, and they did it in collaboration with the East Asian Australasian Flyway. So that is one of the groups that we work with to develop World Migratory Bird Day around the globe. Eve, what do you think in terms of, we talk about one of the messages they put in the video was that this is people raising their voices for bird conservation. And what do you think about the intersection of music and conservation?
I think that music gives sort of a way to express things that are possibly, happening in your world. That's many, composers used the natural world and expressed it through music. So I think that the more that people are hearing about us, something that moves them musically, that is tied to a cause or tied to something about being aware, gets to a broader group, right? There's going to be people who are moved in different ways, and music is one of them.
I totally agree. When I was listening to that, I get a little choked up. It's like, oh, it was so beautiful. I mean, and then when you put it, with the video of migratory birds and create that connection, it is just truly beautiful. And I'm wondering, is that something that happens a lot in the music world? Are there uses of music that benefit conservation, or is this one of the few examples?
I'm sure there must be. I'm not super aware of them, but I'm sure there must be other things where there's a lot of collaboration across, you know, music and science and music and other things like that. So I think that there must be, but the one that I think of, there was a collaboration a number of years ago with the Boulder Phil here in Colorado that was with the National Geological Society about mineral rights and things like that. So I think there's, you know, it definitely does exist, this collaborations.
Oh, okay. That's fascinating. Yeah. And I know actually, you know, as I asked that, we actually had on some artists earlier this week who did a CD for bird conservation, and they bring in bird calls and songs to their music. So that's another, actually a little more direct way.
This piece, they asked people to record birdsong, and as you saw in the big, you know, all the squares, some of them were birds, which is because there was actual birdsong in it. Did the birdsong match the birds that were in the video?
Oh, that's a good question. You know, I didn't even think about it from that sense. So I wasn't checking it. I was more drawn in actually by the emotion of the violin and the music behind it and the scenes of the birds in flight. That kind of, I guess that's what caught me. So I wasn't checking the science of it. That's interesting. Now I got to go back and listen to it again. And I know a lot of people do that when they watch people who are probably much better birders than I am, but you know, are able to capture, well, that bird really wouldn't be there. Where did they get that soundtrack for that bird?
I didn't get to hear it with the orchestra, the instruments when we were working on it. So that was really a whole other element of, you know, beauty and emotion there. I thought that was really
great. It was. And can you speak to how long it must have taken them to pull all this together once they got the individual pieces?
Oh yeah, I was really surprised with the time frame, because our deadline was last week and they had it up today. I mean, that last night. Yeah, that's really, really quick. I've done a number of virtual choirs, and you know, I did one that was that was produced in both Russia and Israel at the same time, and that was weeks, if not months, of putting it together. I mean, there's people doing it like really quickly and not as well.
Yeah, I thought they did just an amazing job with this, and we really appreciate your participating. I'm not sure how many people from the Americas were part of it. Did you notice?
Like a handful. I was trying to count, but it was a handful.
Okay, so can you go somewhere and look at this, like where the people came from?
At the end in the credits, there's it has.
Okay, so we got to scroll down more slowly. Okay, I'll go take a look. But yeah, we truly appreciate your participation in it and representing the Americas and Colorado, of course. So thank you so much. Do you want to add any last words? Are you going to sing Fly Soar today?
I'm going to definitely sing Fly Soar today.
Great. Well, we hope you have a good World Migratory Bird Day. And again, thanks so much, Eve, for being part of the global virtual choir.
Oh, it's so great. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we're going to share with you, if you haven't seen it, we're going to share with you the video that was created by our artist, Sarah Woolman, in celebration of World Migratory Bird Day. It's also very emotional and creates that connection to nature and birds that we hope all of you feel today and every day.
Art and nature are synonymous to me. I find a relationship with the environment to be the highest form of self-expression. There's a mastery of design within nature, little nuances of patterns and relationships in every leaf and feather. Letting nature's design into our daily lives fosters our deep relationship with the world. I've been an artist as far back as I can remember. Perhaps growing up in landscapes of tall buildings and gray infrastructure gave me the ability to appreciate the contrast of the organic colors and shapes that nature provides. The constant in this giant cityscape that gave me a look into a wilder world of inspiration were the birds that made it their home. As years passed, my appreciation for birds and their freedom of expression grew. When I began working for the United States Fish and Wildlife Service in Alaska, I wanted to highlight the connection of birds and art. Birds in Alaska mean so much. We depend on them. They provide us food, company, and are telltale signs of change. We welcome the birds every year with the spring and bid them farewell as the darkness approaches. These are the stories I spoke of when I taught about birds to school children in Bush, Alaska. Birds are a universal language. They connect us. People and places tucked away in these sacred corners of the world understand birds in a way that we should all strive for. Every single one of us has a story of our personal experience with birds to share. To be able to channel that onto paper through artistic mediums really gives tangible meaning to that connection. It provides us all a space to celebrate these birds. I currently work for Arctic National Wildlife Refuge as a visual information specialist. I work to bring the beauty of this place to the rest of the world. Birds at Arctic Refuge are so incredibly important. It's home to over 200 bird species who fly here specifically to breed. They come thousands of miles to this special place, bringing with them the connection from every place they touch. They truly have a freedom in flying to the ends of the earth and back every year. Claude Monet once said, "I would like to paint the way a bird sings." Now I would like to paint not only how birds sing, but how birds fly and how birds bring us together. I want everyone to stop and look at those birds right outside your window. Think about their journey and what other people have observed that very same bird. That bird represents so much that connects us. Their freedom in flight and their beauty in song are things we have always craned our necks to observe from the dawn of humanity. Join me in celebrating World Migratory Bird Day 2021 to sing, fly, and soar like a bird and experience the true freedom, beauty, and design in these wild creatures that bring us all together.
Thanks so much to Sarah Woolman and her wonderful work on the art this year and the wonderful video that she put together. That is also incredibly drawing and moving. So I think we have a video from Leticia, our coordinator in El Salvador. And for those of you who are watching, just in case you're coming in and out of the transmission in the video and our live programming today, there are World Migratory Bird Day coordinators across the Americas, and Leticia is located in El Salvador, and she coordinates our efforts in Central America. And the way that we feel like we work best is when we work in communities and we have people who understand those communities and live near those communities who can work there to help motivate raised awareness of birds and their conservation. So Leticia has that grand task across Central America. I think that we have a video from Leticia, and if we could go to that, that would be wonderful. And next up, if you're watching, is our youth forum after the video and some other comments. So we look forward to having that. We have 3 young people who are avid bird conservationists. They have done some amazing things already. I'm just so impressed with the work that they have done. So Leticia also has another skill. She knows how to do sign language. So this video is of her using sign language to share messages about World Migratory Bird Day. So thank you very much for sharing this video. Thanks so much to Leticia for sharing her talent there. And I think that now we've done a fun thing this year. What we've done is we've asked students, young people, to ask questions about birds, and then we're bringing in experts to answer them. So today we have Daniela, who is the Mexico World Migratory Bird Day coordinator, and she's going to answer some questions. So Daniela, I hope that you're ready. Or is it Daniel? I'm sorry, Daniel's going to answer them. Sorry, Daniel. I saw Daniel and thought Daniela. So you could both do it, but we're going to play these questions, and then Daniel, you can see if you can answer them. So thanks so much. We'll get to those questions from some of our young people across the Americas.
Hola, soy Tiago Docedo.
Hi, my name is Tiago. I'm 7 years old, and I live in Santander, de Quilichao, in Colombia.
Y le tengo pues una pregunta pues.
And I want to ask you a question.
Pues y cómo los pájaros le
How
enseñan a volar
birds
a sus
teach
pichones para
their
volar
chicks to fly
muy lejos.
so they can fly very, very far away. Thank you very much.
Ok, puedo. ¿Qué tal? ¿Qué tal,
Hi.
Tiago? Qué gusto conocerte.
Hi, Tiago. Thank you. Very nice meeting you. And greetings to our sister country of Colombia. My name is Daniela from Ecuador. Thank you very much for sharing your question. I'm very happy to be able to answer that well. Birds have these behaviors. Those of them, some of those behaviors are learned, and some of those are inherited. Some of those are learned, such as singing, for example, such as ours, for example. If we go to the school, they teach us how to sing. But many of those behaviors are inherited behaviors that are part of their DNA, part of their animal behaviors. So the issue of flying is pretty much, well, it is part of their DNA. Birds are born with this ability to fly. Not all of them fly, of course. For example, we have penguins, we have ostrich, cinnamons, there are birds that, yes, they do have wings, but that doesn't mean that they can fly long distances. Some of them fly very little, many of them do not fly at all. So the fact of birds flying such long distance is a thing that is inherited, that is genetic. And of course, birds fly in a flock. So when they fly in a flock, they converse between each other just to see how things are going. There's always a leader that is right in the front of the flock. Some of them go behind so they can help. It's a community work. And well, very interestingly, when birds migrate, when you talk about this long distances and migrations, when birds migrate, it was discovered that they had the ability to feel the magnetic field of Earth. We have 5 senses, right? Birds have many, many more. And one of them is to be able to feel the magnetic north, to feel exactly the magnetic energy of our planet. Imagine, that's so special. So that'll be my answer to Tiago. Greetings to Quilichao, Colombia. Thank you very much, Daniel. Your answer was excellent. Thank you.
Question. Let's see what they say.
Hola, mi nombre
Hi,
es Ilona.
my name is Ilona.
7 años.
I am 7 years old.
Y vivo en Cali.
And I live in Cali, Colombia. I love birds. My question to the expert is,
¿por qué los pájaros
why
no en el vidrio?
why birds don't see windows or glass windows? Well, that's an excellent question, and it has to do a lot with what we're actually talking about of taking care of our, birds from our window. Actually, we have a window right here, and the main issue with birds is basically that, the way they are. Glass is something that we as humans created, for obvious reasons, so we can have our windows and we are able to see the birds flying through the skies. But when birds are flying from the outside, they see a reflection, such as a mirror. If we put if we put ourselves in front of a mirror, we're going to see a reflection, and they see the windows exactly the same way, because glass has that surface that looks like a window. If you step out your house and you see the windows from the outside of your house, you're going to see you're going to see mirrors. And actually, birds, they do not know that the landscape ends right there. And many of them what they want to do is they want to drive through to keep on flying, but they are not aware of the existence of that glass, and that causes mortality. The highest rate of mortality in of birds worldwide are cats first, and second place collisions or crashes against windows. Unfortunately, birds do not have that ability of differentiate between a glass and a reflection. It has actually happened to me many times before when you're running or you're walking really fast, really quickly, and there's a window pane or a window glass, you crash, you stumble into that door. Same thing happens to birds. How can we avoid that? And I invite you to do this at home. You should place some stickers in the window, and that way birds are going to be able to see that windows exist. So when they see those stickers, normally they are black and they need to be large so birds can see it. These collisions are going to be less and less, and our windows aren't going to kill birds. It's an excellent question that help us to help birds to reduce collisions and crashes against windows. There's some issues with the connection. Thank you very much, Daniel, for your time. I know that you are very, very busy. So
Pasos, or Susan Bonfield is to present the Young Forum.
Hello, everyone, and good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are joining us from. Oops. Oh, was I muted? No. Hi, it's good to be here. Every day has been really good, and so many great speakers and so much great information. Thank you, Miguel, for introducing me and for all the hard work that you guys all have been doing with World Migratory Bird Day this year. And we are here for the Youth Forum session right now. And we do have with us Ike Scott, Adam Dahlia, and Louis Phipps, I'm sorry, who are three young avid birders who have at such a young age have already been doing so much for bird conservation and awareness. So I'm really happy to be here with them. Are they all here? Is Ike here? Let's see. If not, I know Adam is here. And Louis is here. Is Adam here yet or no? I don't know if they're on. I don't think so. We might have to wait a few minutes because the session was actually supposed to start at 11:40 Eastern time. And maybe they are waiting to get on in a little bit. But in the meantime, I can tell you a little bit about these great kids. And I know Louis is here. So if you do want to come on now, Louis, I know we are going to play your video at the end. So Louis, at such a young age, I mean, you can tell us about yourself if you would like. Introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your love for birds. And I have seen your talent already. We are going to show a beautiful song that is original from you, correct? Called Hawk. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and about your song? And if you have written any other songs related to birds and conservation, and we are going to show the video at the end of this session. But welcome, and I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you. Well, Louis Phipps, as you can probably tell. I'm 9 years old, a third grader. And with this song Hawk, it started with by the apartment I live in. Nearby, there's actually a red-tailed hawk. Actually, there's at least two, maybe three, because I've seen two of them fly together. But anyways, I keep seeing these hawks fly by my window, and it kept on happening. About a month ago, it actually stopped. Not sure why, but before that, it was usually um, uh, always weekly, sometimes daily. And I finally thought, well, this red-tailed hawk is such an amazing creature. Why not write a song about it? And well, so I did.
It's a great song. So was that what started you and your love for birds? Was it seeing those hawks so up close all the time, or did you always like birds?
I always liked birds, but I don't know. This might be a coincidence, but actually, this is a coincidence. During COVID, I was writing a lot of songs. At the beginning, it was weekly, one song per week. Not as fast now, but still having songs coming. And I was one day I was racking up my songs, and I was like, wait, what? I have so many bird songs. I had about 5 at the time, and I thought, well, since I have so many bird songs, why not keep writing more?
Oh,
yeah. I think that.
That's amazing. Is that something that you think you plan to do professionally, either with music and or with conservation or birds?
Yeah, I'm actually having this idea where I might just have a small album, maybe just bird songs.
Oh wow, that's amazing. That's incredible. I am looking forward to hearing some of your other songs, because I've only seen the Hawk song, which is great, and I can only imagine what all your other songs are like. You're very inspiring, Louis. Keep it up. It's amazing what you do. Thank you so much. And we are going to play the Hawk song at the end of the session here, so hang on tight. We do have on Isaiah Ike Scott, who is the founder of Ike's Birding. Oh, you took my notes. Hi, Ike. Welcome back. Ike was with us last year in last year's World Migratory Bird Day, talking a little bit about his experience with birding and guiding and just education and outreach. And he's also, besides being an avid birder and having his own avitourism business that you're starting, right? He's also an artist. So not only is he a birder, but he's also a very talented artist. So hi, Ike, welcome back. Happy to see you again. And what do you want to tell us today?
So hello, everyone. Just want to say thank you for getting me back on this platform. This is an amazing platform for young birders and people just to share their experience with birds and nature. So I want to thank you for having me back. So I can do a presentation, like screen share, or okay. So all right, I'm gonna share my screen, and I have a little presentation. And if I press present. All right, so I'm going to be talking about my art business that I recently started called the Rookery Collection and the Echo Berry Fellowship that I've been recently awarded in my project. So just a little about me. My name is Isaiah Scott. I'm 18 years old. I'm a Black ornithologist and natural history illustrator from Savannah, Georgia. And I'm the creator of Ike's Birding Hikes, which is an agritourism brand that I started 3 years ago. And I just lead interpretive bird watching hikes and nature walks. And I really just try to really encourage my peers and young people to go outside and bird watch. And just really, my whole goal is to connect people with nature. And I'm also recently started last year my art business, the Rookery Collection. And I do bird and nature art. And then I recently received the Echoberry, well, I'm the Echoberry Fellow of 2021. And I'll be illustrating a cultural field guide, and I'll be talking, going more in depth about that. So the Rookery Collection, I started the Rookery Collection over quarantine, which is a really great time to start a business. Just, you know, you just settle down in your house and, you know, just great ideas just come in while you're just, you know, not moving around and staying still. And it's like, this would be a great time to do a business and like an online business. So it really all started, I was selling like small watercolor paintings on like these little card, like watercolor paper cards. And I really, the main purpose of that was I was trying to raise money for a bird camp called Camp Talon, which is like a local bird camp like in Savannah, Georgia area. And so, and then of course with COVID, the camp was canceled. And so I was a little bummed out, but people really love my art. They really love the watercolor birds. And I'm just getting messages on Instagram after I just made like a post that I was selling watercolor birds. And so, yeah, just keep people in my DMs just hit me up like, hey, I'm so interested in buying one. And so, yeah, just it got really popular. And so that's when I decided, you know, why can't I start a business and actually continue doing this? So I've been selling them on Instagram for a few months, but then I thought it was kind of time to start a website. And so my mom helped me out, and we made a website together. And I started kind of evolved from watercolor and moved on to other paint mediums and selling more products. Like I discovered about gouache, which is a clay-based watercolor paint, and it's now my favorite medium, and I love to use it. And so yes, and then I also do paint on leather bags and leather products, leather satchel bags. I usually paint an egret on it. That's been a very popular order. So so here is one of my first like gouache designs for the Rookery Collection. I call it the Summer Songbirds. And there's in the middle is my favorite bird, the painted bunting. And then there's an indigo bunting and a summer tanager. The indigo bunting is the bluebird and the summer tanager is the red bird. And so I don't know, I really just, these are birds I really enjoy seeing in the spring and summertime. And they're just beautiful, colorful, vibrant. And so yeah, a lot of people have really loved this art. And just another one which I think is my best like art piece so far. This is a bobolink that I did in gouache. And this is like one of my favorite birds. I actually saw them last week. I was bird watching in Darien, Georgia at these old rice fields, and there was like probably thousands of them. And they're really just fun and neat to watch, and how they're very active and chattery and very loud and noisy birds. And so yeah, here's just an example of my art. And then this is the leather bags that I usually paint. Here's a snowy egret that I painted on a leather bag. And so yeah, and I actually, the leather bags are custom made. I partner with another Black-owned business called the Savannah River Boot Company, and I actually get like a discount, like I get the bags in bulk right from the company. So that's really neat to be working with the owner, and so yeah, it's really good artistry. The bags are really good. So the Echoberry Fellowship. The Echoberry Fellowship is an endowment offered by the Academy the Academy of Natural Resources and Drexel University to honor Don and Virginia Echoberry, who were very famous and prolific bird illustrators and conservationists. And so the primary goal of the endowment is to provide fellowships to artists, nature artists, and will be enhanced by firsthand experience in the field. In addition, expanding primary exposure to nature and opportunities for artistic growth. And it is really important that whatever is proposed leads to a specific outcome. And so this might be an publication, oh my gosh, you know, never mind, I'm gonna try, I'm sorry. And pretty much the whole thing, like you propose a project and it'll have an end goal, like a book or a publication, as I was saying, involving, you know, art and nature and the natural world. And so my friend actually reached out to me and would say, hey, you should apply for this nature art fellowship called the Echoberry Fellowship. And so I was like, okay, wow, this seems really interesting. So I went and applied in October about hearing about it from my friend. And so, so pretty much like the applicant, they should provide a proposal for a project with a tangible end product that is supported by a third party. So my project idea for the proposal, sorry, is to create a historical and cultural field guide highlighting the journey of my heritage, the Gullah Geechee Africans from Barbados to Charleston and the Gullah Geechee corridor. And the Gullah Geechee corridor is pretty much the coast of South Carolina, Georgia, and Northern Florida. And so pretty much I really wanted to show and research the connection of birds and nature and how people connect them throughout history in these areas. And so like how enslaved Africans, you know, what birds were they seeing on the plantations because they were out in nature all the time, and how did the cultivation of enslaved Africans like affect birds and wildlife and the habitat that they're in, and also how was birds really like were seen as a message and in their culture and their pavement, like a message for their freedom, and just really showing the connection between birds, nature, culture, and people of enslaved Africans throughout history. And so, so months after I applied, I was really happy to see that I was awarded the Echoberry Fellowship, and I became the Echoberry Fellow of 2021. And so I was endowed about $3,000 for travel, research, and to publish the book and illustrate. Of course, the book will mainly be illustrations that I'll be working on, and all the illustrations will be from me. And so really excited for this project. And so here's just like a little update about how the project has been going for me. I've been spending a lot of time like nature journaling and bird illustrating in the field. I've been visiting a lot of places here in like throughout the Gullah Geechee corridor. Here at the top right, that is the Kawkaw Interpretive Center that's in near Charleston, South Carolina. And it used to be a rice plantation, and but now it is like a nature preserve and a really great place for birds and wildlife. And so I've been there twice, and they have a great learning center that just breaks down the whole history of the area and enslaved Africans and rice cultivation, and just pretty much a really great place to research. And here at the bottom, this is actually at Magnolia Plantation in South Carolina as well. It's a very famous plantation. It's a very beautiful area, and it has a really rich history in the area, and it was and a lot of Gullah Geechee history there as well. And here, this is inside of a slave cabin, and pretty much I was on a tour there where we went through the cabins and talked about the histories of enslaved Africans. And they actually, the Drayton family that owned the plantation, they actually moved from Barbados. And so this was a really good place to see how that movement from Barbados to here and how they took enslaved Africans with them. And so that was really the connection I was trying to make, like just going back to see the history of moving from place to place in the journey of my ancestors. And so here's a little painting of a painted bunting that I recently did. And I really this is a bird I definitely want to include in the book. And so here I have some sketches of just some basic passerine drawings, and have some egrets. And there are a lot of egrets and heron species here in South Georgia. So here is just a concept piece that I worked on. This is just a rice plantation, and it's supposed to be somewhere in South Carolina. And pretty much I really just like wanted to show with this painting is how the rice fields that were cultivated by enslaved Africans, and how they worked and tilled the soil, and then have to control the irrigation system, and pretty much the whole process, and the labor is now results in as a really good bird habitat and an important habitat for migratory species and shorebirds and wading birds, and not only birds but other wildlife such as alligators and deer. And so really I just wanted to show how this is the fruit of their labor, of how the birds are able to thrive off of what they've had to just what they've been working tirelessly. And so pretty much I was really trying to draw a connection, and how and also just it really just makes me feel empowered and very pretty much empowered to be able to go back to where these former plantations that are now nature reserves and really walk and to see the fruit of their labor. And so yeah, that's pretty much what I was trying to show with this painting. And this is probably just a concept. I may include this in the book. And so, yeah, that's, and yeah, that's the end. So.
Well, thank you so much, Ike. Very impressive. Congratulations on your new business. Congratulations on your new fellowship. And good luck. All the best. You're clearly only going to continue to move up from here. So all the best to you. Congratulations. This is amazing, amazing, amazing. Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do stick around in case we have time for questions. I will go ahead and go on to Adam Dalla, who is yet another very impressive young man who I think at the age of 15, is that right, Adam? Is the co-creator of a digital game called Find the Birds. And Adam, thank you for joining us today. I'm very excited to hear more about your game. I do have the link here to share the game with the audience if you don't plan to. So just in case, if you want to walk us through the game a little bit and just talk to us about how that came to you, a little bit about yourself and how the idea of creating a game just came to you and how did it all come to be?
For sure. First of all, thanks for having me. This is an awesome event. So many awesome people here. So I have a little presentation, so I guess I'll just walk through that. And
Sounds
then
good.
that kind of talks about the inspiration, how this came together. And yeah, so let me just share that. Here it is. There we go. Okay, you see that all right? It's not loaded yet. There we go. Okay, Let me press the button. There we go. Okay, does that look good to you guys? Awesome. All right.
Looks perfect.
So I'll just walk through this. As you can notice, we have a cool banner in the back here. So that's just kind of some of the drawings that I made for the game, but it'll all make sense shortly. And then I'm wearing the merch of the logo of the game. Let's just get started. All right. So Find the Birds. So that's really the sentence there. It's a free mobile game about birds and conservation. That's really what it's been since the conception of the idea 5 or 6 years ago when I was 10, I guess that would be. And it really hasn't changed since for those many, many years. So what is this? I've been a birder for many, many years. I've been interested in birds. I've been interested in nature for, since I was very young. And in many years as being part of this birding community locally here in my hometown of Vancouver, I noticed two big things that were missing. Number one is a concrete link to conservation efforts. So I often saw birders or groups of birders being really interested in birding and just kind of observing birds, which of course is understandable because birds are beautiful, amazing creatures. But often there lacked a concrete link to how can we save these birds or what kind of problems are plaguing these birds in their habitats. And I often notice that as kind of a missing gap. But second of all, kind of a bigger gap is a lack of young people in birding and conservation. There is a huge lack of young people in birding and conservation, and also a lack of diversity as well. I think globally, but I noticed that especially here in Vancouver, there was a real lack of young people. And there's this kind of double problem where instead of seeing more and more youth being interested in conservation efforts and birding, you're almost seeing less because there's this kind of increased disconnectedness between people and nature with the rise of digital technology and that sort of thing. So really the idea for a mobile game about birds arose from kind of using digital technology to the advantage of conservation and birding, which kind of I've seen as an underutilized tool to get people interested in birds and get especially younger people interested in birds, because there's nothing really like this. So in around 2016, my dad and I came up with the idea of a mobile game for birding and conservation. So this is the very beginnings of an idea. Here you can see the prototypes that I created when I was 10 or 11-ish. So they're, not the best, but as you'll see later on, the ideas really haven't changed that much. There we go. That looks a little better. So you have your little character and it's walking through real hotspots, so real birding hotspots that exist in the real world, and you're looking at real birds. So it's really, the key pillars are, it's all based on real life birding and conservation, because we really wanted to keep things faithful to real life. So here you have a little character walking through the habitat, looking at wandering tattlers and killdeers, and then you got some yellow-headed blackbirds. And the thing is, when you look at the birds and you find them more and more, you collect information about them. So you get these little, you get your little kind of field guide in the game that you rack up information about the birds. So this, as you can see later on, has stayed pretty constant in our current rendition of the game. So in around 2017 to 2020, around this period, we're kind of developing ideas further. So as you can see, my art style has kind of developed this more geometric kind of thing, but really we haven't gotten too much progress at this point actually getting a real product out there. We're kind of reaching out to people in the birding world and organizations, and we're kind of contacting programmers, because I know how to program, but only recently and not really relating to game development. So we needed programmers and animators. So we were contacting game side people for feedback and possibly reaching out to do something, and kind of developing art style and kind of coming up with this idea of conservation quests. So kind of these in-game quests where you either, as you can see on the right picture there, you have the character and there's like 3 nest boxes on the bottom right. So you can put up those nest boxes and help birds. That was kind of the idea at this point. So kind of coming up with this idea of conservation quests and kind of bringing this idea of conservation and not just birding. So you're looking at birds, but you're also helping them in this game. So kind of developing, fleshing out the idea, but nothing yet. So here's just kind of a little fun little thing I like to show, kind of how my art style has changed. Because really at this point, that's all kind of the game was, I guess, was my art and prototype stuff. So as you can see in 2019, these are both the California condor, which is an amazing bird that actually made it into the level of the game, which is exciting. So I'll talk about that later. But that was my 2019 condor. And then those were my 2021 condors that I did a couple months back. So we really hit gold this year. So early this year, and around January, we were able to achieve funding from the Canadian government to go ahead and put a team together. So we were able to hire really skilled animators and coders and actually put together a team for the first time ever. And we were able to put together a initial level of the game in just around 4 months. And we were released about a month ago in April. Onto the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store, the 2 big ones. And I'll show a bunch of screenshots after this, but that was big. That's really what we've been waiting for all this time, is a release of the game. So what is this game would probably be a good question after this. So here's just a cute little animation I like to show of 2 vermilion flycatchers. Beautiful bird, and they range all the way from southeastern Arizona, United States, all the way down to South America. So they're really a great bird, and they're on a saguaro cactus, because our first level was Arizona in the United States. So lots of cactus for sure. So here's a little GIF, whatever you choose, of your player walking through the Arizona habitat. So you can see there's this kind of at the sunset. So we have times in the game. You can bird at night, you can bird at day. So here's a character walking past the cacti, and this is based on an actual place called Saguaro National Park in Arizona. And if you go there, and I've had the privilege of being there multiple times, really beautiful place, and it's all inspired by this. So it's quite similar, I would say. So you kind of walk in this 3rd-person view most of the times, but you actually can't see birds in this view. So as you can see in the bottom right-hand corner of this kind of screen capture is that eye opening and closing. When the eye is open, you can go into this thing called birding mode. So you switch to 1st person, and I'll show that later. But you can kind of think of that as stopping and putting up your binoculars. So as you can see, we've remained faithful in the design of birds. We really wanted to keep it, so that you can look at that illustration, that animation of the California condor on the left, and then know that's the California condor on the right. So we really wanted to stay faithful to that for all these times, and I think we still did. So as you can see, that's kind of based on my illustration from all the way back there on the right. And the animators were able to put this in a beautiful animation on the left. And as you can see, similar with a varied bunting, which is an awesome Arizona bird. And you can see how they're very similar to the actual bird, but they're kind of is an added kind of charisma kind of thing that our animators were able to kind of instill in these birds. So here's another cute little screenshot of an elf owl. So this is in birding mode at nighttime. So basically you can kind of like this, you don't see your character anymore, right? So this is kind of like putting up your binoculars, looking at the cactus. This is just on a loop. But here's a little elf owl. So it's smallest owl in the world. They live in Arizona. Wonderful little creatures. So that's just flying out. So you got to tap on it quick to get information about the bird. Yeah. So we've stuck with all our principles from the many 5 years from beforehand. We still have realistic information and cards. So cards into the field guide now, minor change, I guess. So on the left hand, you can see the front of those cards. So you can see a causes hummingbird, all those. And on the right, you have the information. So we were able to get media and we were able to get audio, so songs, song files, video, and images from the Cornell lab. To put these cards together, as well as information from the Cornell lab. And so we really get, top-notch information from them. And each of these birds, there's 13 or 14 birds in this level. And each of these birds has these little cards that you kind of extend, and you get more and more information as you see the bird more times. We still stuck to the idea of conservation quests. So really we're thinking real world problems, real world solutions. So in this level, we have kind of 2 quests. We have one where you have to save a condor from lead poisoning, which is pretty fun. And 2, you have buffalo grass, which is an invasive species. You have to just remove it. And that's what our character is doing in this slide here. But you also have nest box placement. And right now we're working on a 2nd level, which we'll talk about more shortly, where we're doing nest box placement and kind of cleaning up the ocean and that sort of thing. So far, about 1 month after launch, in April 2nd around was our date. It's being played by thousands of people in 45 countries on 6 continents. And we really stick with the idea of no advertisements, no in-app purchases, completely free. So we really wanted the highest possible accessibility for this game. And I think we achieved that. So we're really proud of the fact that you can play this game without any interruptions of advertisements or that sort of thing, because it's completely funded by grants and nonprofits. It's found success introducing, from what I've heard anecdotally and with ratings and that sort of thing, introducing younger people into birding and conservation. I hear lots of stories of people who are older, so either like grandmothers, grandfathers, or fathers or mothers who are interested in birding, but are kind of trying to connect to their grandsons, granddaughters, or sons and daughters who maybe not be as interested in birding as they are. So this is just another way to get a new generation into birding. This is obviously not any sort of replacement of actually, giving them a pair of binoculars, giving them a field guide, and getting them out there, but it's a supplement. So you can give this game, and you can also, really indoctrinating the youth into liking birds, you could say. But I think it's really just a perfect way to get people involved. And I've heard lots of stories of people playing it with younger people and really finding a connection there. Also, 2 little extra bonuses. The development of this game is pretty much 0 carbon because we're working remotely. Even if the COVID pandemic wasn't going on, it would still be remote. And it's COVID safe, both in the production of the game was COVID safe, but also the game itself is a COVID safe alternative to going out in large groups and birding. You're playing a game on your phone. And I think that really the need for this game is exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic. So right now in production, just a little sneak peek, is British Columbia, which is my home area. So that's exciting. So it's going to be ocean. So we're going to be doing, on the left, we have a black oyster catcher, like an awesome bird. And then on the right, we have a Clark's nutcracker. So it's really just an exciting time, and we're getting that as soon as we can. But let know that your location could be next. So if you know any people who could be giving funding or that sort of thing, we're really interested in making this a global initiative and a global game with hotspots from around the world and birds from around the world, and trying to connect to as much people as possible. So thanks for listening. That's the logo that I'm wearing here. That hasn't changed actually since like 2018-ish. There's a Western meadowlark, and feel free to contact that email there. Maybe I'll pop it in the chat if you have any questions. And then if you want to download it or just learn more about it, findthebirds.com is the place to go. So yeah, Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Adam, so much. That is just incredible, amazing. The talents, the passion, everything from conservation to game development. It's crazy. Thank you so much. And we do have the link to the website where you can get the game on birthdaylive.com. So if you guys didn't catch that now, you can go back to either watch this video again, or we do have under his bio on birthdaylive.com the link to get the game. Thank you so much. That is incredible, and congratulations on all your accomplishments, including getting the funding and everything for that. That's not easy.
For sure. But thanks for having me.
Of course. Thank you so much. So now we are going to show the much waited for and expected video for Louis' song, Hawk, the original song by Louis Phipps. And I hope you all enjoy. God, that'd be disgusting. my God, this session just warms my heart. This is the future, you guys. These guys are the future. Thank you so much, Ike. Thank you so much, Adam. Thank you so much, Louis. You guys are really, really, really amazing, inspiring, and just a beautiful thing to see. It gives me happiness. It warms my heart. It gives me hope, and I am so happy to have the pleasure to have you guys join us today. Thank you so much. Oh, I did have a question for Ike. I think somebody asked if the website is up and running and if they can purchase your any of your stuff yet.
Yes, the website is up and running. It's therookerycollection.com. And so, yes.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you. And congratulations to you all on your talent, on your passion, and on just being you. That's amazing. Thank you. Thank you. So everyone stick around. We are gonna close this session, but just for 1 minute, and we will be right back on Facebook with the Shorebird Stopover Sites presentation in the Pacific Flyway. So we're gonna go on a little virtual tour over the Pacific Flyway, and I'll tell you more about it in a minute. Thank you so much for everyone who's joining us, and I'll see you in a second.